And away we go. Hi there, welcome to Trivia Ronin. I am your host, Matt McNelly, and we are happy to have you today. Quick breakdown of the rules. 1, we are honor code here. You keep your own score. Feel free to cheat. You get nothing. After each question, you get 45 seconds to answer. Absolutely do not show your answer until the time is up. That was number 2. Tonight, there are going to be 30 questions and 10-point story question at the end. I forgot my words. It's fine. It's right in front of me, but I forgot them. There's 30 points in my questions. My last question is worth... Second to last is worth 5, though. Get ready for that. And then there's a 10-point story question like we always do. You guys know how to play Trivia Ronin. Let's go. Question number 1. Starting religious. What's the common name for the United Society of Believers in Christ's second appearing? Most famously known for their legacy in American furniture and handcraft design. 45 seconds starting now. Starting in the woodworking department. The common name for, quote, the United Society of Believers in Christ's second appearing. That apostrophe S is tough on that one. 30 seconds left. Oh, good. Dude, good question. You are going to write it down. You are going to show it in front of the screen. And when I say go. So once the timer runs out. Make sense? Got this, baby. Of course. I should have explained further. We're just all in the middle of it. Look at everybody got their pens going. What is it? Is it that one you're thinking of? Maybe. Show them, everybody. This is the time. I know this one's gonna piss everybody off. Everybody's gonna be mad. Yep. The answer is Ron Swanson loves them. It's the Shakers. Shaker style. What we were looking for, the Shakers, I know. It's fine, I knew no one was going to get it. That's why I gave everyone a bonus point before we started. Question number 2. Ecce homo is a Latin term meaning behold the man, but it also refers to numerous paintings depicting Pontius Pilate and Jesus Christ wearing what upon his head? 45 seconds starting now. I'm all religious to start today, guys. Gotta get these heathens out of here. Ecce homo. It's not something you heard in the locker room in 8th grade. It means behold the man, but it also refers to numerous paintings depicting Pontius Pilate and Jesus Christ wearing what upon his head? Sorry, that wording's a bit funky, but I'm referring to what's on Jesus' head. Pontius Pilate as a Roman, presumably wearing laurels or something. Right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Show them, my darlings. What do we got? Yep. See? Just because you didn't know Shakers doesn't mean you didn't know a crown of thorns. Not comfortable. Thank you for being specific, everyone. You're killing it. Question number 3. We're flying. In 1976, 12-year-old Academy Award winner, true story, Tatum O'Neal received $350,000 and a percentage of the net profits to appear as a reluctant tomboy in what movie? 45 seconds. Starting once my clicker goes to the right screen. Here we go. 45 seconds. Tatum O'Neal, Academy Award winner when she was 9 years old. Then gets hired to be in a movie for the most amount of money ever given to a child actor at the time. She came out of a 2-year retirement to do this. What's that movie? Reluctant Tomboy. It's the name of my emo band from high school, Reluctant Tomboy. What do we got? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's that movie? 1976. Bunch of kids doing something. I think Emily's got it. Yeah, of course she does. Stand By Me, good guess. Some other folks didn't. It was The Bad News Bears. The Bad News Bears, that classic baseball film. There you go. Next question. Question 4. The graph of a quadratic function has a shape normally referred to by what mathematical term? 45 seconds starting now. Get your 8th grade math textbooks out. What's that thing? Oh, shit. I remember. but I don't. But I bet you do. This one I feel like comes up in actual life sometimes. The graph of a quadratic function has a shape normally referred to by what mathematical term? Emily's having pen issues. Not your fault. It's not your fault. The graph of a quadratic function. Ax squared plus bx plus c, that's a quadratic function. What do we got, children? Yep. It's also a certain microphone. It's a parabola. Parabola. Grab the parabolas, as Will Ferrell would say in his 3-episode arc in The Office. Next up to bat. Question 5. Its name means beside the water, but this desert is actually the driest place in North America. 45 seconds starting now. Its name means beside the water. So the beside the water desert, if you speak the language that it means that in. I'm a tricksy hobbit today. Its name means beside the water, but this desert is actually the driest place in North America. Driest. Darth Saul, excellent name for a movie. I'd watch it. I think the Wayans brothers are going to make that. Question 5, who's got it? Who's got it? Boom, bam, yes, spelling doesn't matter, but yes, many got it. Not the Salton Sea, not Arizona, good guess. The Mojave Desert. Mojave. Beside the water. In Mojave. I don't know what the language is. I should have looked that up. Question 6. According to his Instagram posts, especially those on Tuesdays, LeBron James is a huge fan of what food? So much so in 2019 he filed a trademark from a common phrase associated with it. 45 seconds on the clock starting now. This one's a layup. Or, if LeBron was playing, probably a slam dunk. Nailed it. According to his Instagram posts, especially those on Tuesdays, LeBron James is a huge fan of what food? So much so, in 2019, he filed a trademark for a common phrase associated with it. Sorry, very wordy, covered up by the timer. Now you can read the word it. With which it is associated is the correct grammar, according to his Instagram posts. What's LeBron James a big fan of? It's Lejean Brames, I hear. 3, 2, 1, show him. Big fan of yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And go Nuggets, says Connor, throwing it out there. Tacos. As the Aussies say, tacos. There you go. Guys, we're flying. You're looking great out there. Question 7. This 1959 stage play was both the first Broadway production written by an African-American woman and the first to be directed by any African-American. Question mark, even though it should be a period, but that's the question. This 1959 play, I'll give you a hint. It got its title from a Langston Hughes poem. That's not really a hint if you didn't know Langston Hughes' poetry. If you know what happens to a dream deferred, that will help you. This 1959 play. Have you been looking at me the whole time? Nah. There we go. Let's look at the question for a second. This 1959 play, first Broadway production, written by an African-American woman and first to be directed by an African-American. What is the show? Boom, boom. Some got it. Ooh, good guesses, but not. August Wilson wrote Fences. That's a man. Boom, you will know this. You will be mad if you missed it. It's a raisin in the sun. What happens to a dream deferred? It can dry up like a raisin in the sun. These things happen. There's your history lessons. Great. Question 8. What scientific term comes from the Greek word for indivisible, although physicist Ernest Rutherford, among others, proved that to be false? 45 seconds starting now.
What do you have?
I'm asking for the scientific term that comes from the Greek word for indivisible. It is a term for an object. How about that? That's helpful. Greek word for indivisible, slightly changed around, refers to something in science that everyone has heard of. There's your hint. God, they're so wordy today. I'm talking too much. Scientific term from the Greek word for indivisible. If my Rutherford heads are in the house, Rutherford. What did he do? 3, 2, 1. He worked real hard to split something. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. Close. Nailed it. Many of you got it. Hypothesis is not right. Atom. Rutherford split the atom, along with Albert Einstein, a few other folks. Ba-boom! Question 9. It's a long one. Gotta do vocal warm-ups. What is the name for the 54-member association of states, almost all comprised of former territories of the British Empire, who have an Olympic-style sporting competition every 4 years? 45 seconds starting now. These guys, they all get together, all 54 countries, and they do little non-America Olympics. There's your hint. America's not one of them. I mean, it's unfair, right? We always win. So these guys get together to play every 4 years. It's a 54-member association of states, almost all comprised of former territories of the British Empire, who have an Olympic-style sporting competition every 4 years. It's precious. I used to watch these growing up. There's another hint for you. I lived in a Commonwealth nation. Oh, he said it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, show him. Boom. No one got it, huh? Okay. Anyone? No? Shit. Alright, this is just one of those things that I'll teach everybody. Pan America, good guess. The Commonwealth of Nations. Or the Commonwealth Games. I don't know. Maybe no one's heard of that. That's my bad. Don't worry. You'll get this one, so it's fine. Question 10. Traditionally, how many keys are on a grand piano? It's question 10. Uh-oh. How many keys are on a grand piano? 45 seconds starting now. If you got one in your room, just count them. You have enough time, maybe. Doug's doing it. James, you can do it. There's one in our house. Only if it's a physical grand piano are you allowed to count it. How many keys are on a grand piano? Woo! That's nice. He's a joker, he's a smoker, he's a midnight toker. And good at assists. 3, 2, 1. How many? This isn't a within an amount. Yep. Most people got it. Yep. Close, but the truth is it's 88. 88 keys on a grand piano. Boom, that's round 1. Did we do 10 questions? Doug missed one. Okay, good. We did 10 questions. You guys know the drill. What's the score? Big 4. How we looking? Who's killing it? Boom, 6 for the home team. 4 for the Pud Man. This is a surprise. 4 for 4. A lot of 4s. 1, 6. Collusion, maybe. But we'll talk about that when we get back. Can't talk today. 3-minute break, guys. Question number 1, round 2. Try it again. There we go. Here we are. Before the Constitution, what was the name of the document ratified March 1781 that gave the Continental Congress its authority? 45 seconds. What was the Constitution before the Constitution is an easier way to ask this question. Remember history class? Ugh, I know. I feel like this is an AP US history question. Got kicked out of AP US history. Only class I got kicked out of. Fun story. 28 seconds. I was late because I had to come from theater class. So the teacher said you shouldn't be in this class. I tried to take it as a sophomore. It's fine. I got over it. Before the Constitution, what was the name of the document ratified in March 1781 that gave the Continental Congress its authority? It's a plural document. I don't know if that helps. Probably doesn't. 3, 2, 1. If you knew it, family. What do we got? Yes! Yes, Jose. Yes, 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 yes. The Articles of Confederation. Gotta roll that R. Yeah, the Articles of Confederation. First thing we had. For a few years, they got rid of them. We were a confederacy to start. Looks like we're going back. Am I right? Vote. Question 2. Jerry Garcia was the lead guitarist and frontman for what long touring band? Spark your dupes. Jerry Garcia was the lead guitarist and frontman for what long touring band? The answer is not Ben and Jerry's, although they were a fan. I mean, Ben and Jerry's is a funny answer. I'll take it away from you. Touring is an operative word in this. They like to tour. I want to say most people will get this, but I don't know. It has been a minute since this person was relevant. 10 seconds. Give you a hint. Here's the hint. That didn't help. I'm just a big bear making a pose. Blues Traveler, good guess. Show them though, everybody. Boom. Let me see some other ones. Blues Traveler's not it, but otherwise, yes, all us high school pot smokers. Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead. Question 3. This is another long written one, but I think you'll get it. Author O. Henry coined this term in 1904 when referring to the country of Honduras, although now it's much more closely associated with the retail fashion industry. 45 seconds starting now. It's a term coined by O. Henry that became something in the retail fashion industry. This one was probably a story, but I just didn't want to write it. O. Henry, he was a writer. He wrote a fictional story about Honduras in 1904, and he used this term to refer to them, although now it's more closely associated with the retail fashion industry. 12 seconds left. If you get this, you're gonna get this. If you don't, you're gonna say, well, shit. And that's usually true of trivia. 2, 1, show 'em. Boom. Yes, some people got it. Many people got it. Yes, 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 yes. I see a few. The answer was Banana Republic. Banana Republic. That was Zitter. Question number 4, keeping it moving. What game includes 16 wind discs marked north, south, east, or west and features 3 suits commonly called cracks, bams, and dots? 45 seconds starting now. Hint on this one, call your grandma. What game includes 16 wind discs marked north, south, east, or west and features 3 suits commonly called cracks, bams, and dots? My mom plays this game. That's why I said call your grandma, because my mom's kind of old. Oops, hope she doesn't watch this. You look great, Mom. 18 seconds left. What game has 16 wind discs marked north, south, east, or west and features 3 suits commonly called cracks, bams, and dots? Suppose when I said call your mother, stipulation should have been, are you Chinese or Jewish? Let's see him. Bridge, good guess. Backgammon, good guess. Nailed it. Somebody nailed it. 2 people nailed it. Several people nailed it. Spelling doesn't count. Mahjong. Mahjong. It's got tiles or discs. Mahjong, don't worry, next one's true or false. The answer's on the screen, guys. True or false, if you lined up all the planets in a line, Mercury is closer to Earth than Mars. True or false? 45 seconds going now. Make sure I wrote this right. Yep. True or false, if you lined up all the planets, Mercury is closer to Earth than Mars. Is that true or false? Which M is closer? Hermes or Aries? Nailed it. Did that one on the fly. You lined up all the planets. Mercury is closer to Earth than Mars. True? False? Again, they're in a line. I don't know where they are right now. They all orbit the sun. That one's for free. What do we got? True or false? Boom, bam, some have true, some have false. Some have true, some have false. The answer is false. Mercury is 56.98 million miles away. Mars is 48.64 million miles away. Venus, closest planet, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's why I didn't ask that, because it's way closer. Question 6. In soccer, kicking a ball between a defender's legs shares its name with what spice? 45 seconds on the clock starting now. Who got their AYSO skills on right now? Did everyone have that, or is that a Chicago? Well, whatever. Youth soccer. Kicking a ball between a defender's legs shares its name with what spice? Spicy. What's that spice? What's that maneuver referred to as? Four, 3, 2, 1. You guys remember, right? Yep, some do. Thyme pepper, good guess. Cinnamon, good guess. Nutmeg is the correct answer. When you nutmeg somebody, you get it between their legs. It's great. Fun to do. We would always try it in youth soccer, but I was bad. Question 7. We like to pretend French dressing's from France, same for Russian dressing, but this particular sauce actually came from a geographical area straddling the border between Ontario and New York. 45 seconds. Ignore the whole first part of that question if you want to. Name a sauce from a geographical area straddling the border between Ontario, Canada, and New York State. It's wordy, I know. But I was trying to be witty. French dressing, not from France. Russian dressing, not from Russia. But this sauce came from a geographical area straddling the border between Ontario and New York. Sorry, named for that area, I should say. Named for the area it is from. 2, 1, not unlike hamburgers. Buffalo sauce, great guess. I know this one's tricky, but guess who got it? The old team, Thousand Island. The Thousand Island area on Lake Erie. Thousand Island dressing. Boom! Question 8's got a multi-pointer. 1 point each, not including GMC. This one's straight up for Darcy. Name the original 5 American car brands under the umbrella of General Motors until 2009, when they all went tits up. 45 seconds. Name them all. You don't need to put them in order. There is an order. I'll explain that in a second. 1 point each, not including GMC. Name the original 5 American car brands that were under the umbrella of General Motors until 2009er. Is that a niner? Is that a niner in there? Many of them still on the road today, especially in California. But many of them not making new cars. 3, 2, 1. Show them. Show how many you got. And then we'll list them. Cool, we got a few. Yeah, okay, you got a few of them. Here's the big list. In order: Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac. And that is in order of fanciness. GM would price Chevys the cheapest. Cadillac's the most expensive, everything else in the middle. So note down how many you got. Oldsmobile, I forget that one every time. Plymouth, good guess. Next question. What's the name of the symbol placed on a music staff to indicate what pitch is represented by each line in the staff? 45 seconds. That's a redundant question. What's the name of the symbol placed on a music staff to indicate what pitch is represented on each line? You've seen it before, I'm sure. What's that thing called, though? My musicians will get this, I'm sure. Who are my musicians? Name the symbol placed on a music staff to indicate what pitch is represented by each line. Wording?
What's your wording?
Yep.
Makes me think I'm wrong.
Nope. You're not wrong, Doug. In fact, everyone, don't second guess yourself. It's the thing you're thinking of, I'm sure. Just show them, everybody. How we feeling? Boom, 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 boom. This one is for everybody almost. Clef. The clef. Julie, I might give you half credit on key signature, honestly, because the key signature is indicated by where the clef lives on the staff. So I'll give you a point for that. Technically, the clef is the key signature, but, you know, that's just me. I don't know. I'm not in charge here. Question 10. 1986 was a simpler time. In that year, the Beastie Boys believed the most important right you needed to fight for was what? 45 seconds. Starting now. A lot more things to fight for now. But the Beastie Boys believed there was only one thing you needed to fight for. Simpler times. 30 seconds left. Take this moment to say her name, Breonna Taylor. It's a lot more difficult now, guys. 1986 was a simpler time. The Beastie Boys believed the most important right you needed to fight for was what? You only need one right in 86. Well, one was to vote for Reagan, I guess. The other one... 3, 2, 1. What did the Beastie Boys want you to fight for? This is one for everybody. Yep. To party. Nailed it. All right. That's round 2. How we doing? Show them, everybody. I told you round 2 was easier. See, Doug's back with 14. Swinging big. 12 over there by the Pud man. 14. Ooh. A tie for 14. We got a 10. 7's all good. Everybody's still in it. Here's what we're going to talk about today. The story today is about a fiercely partisan attempt to pack the courts immediately prior to and following an election. The party in charge decided to got swept out of government, decides their best chance of holding on to power is filling the judicial branch of the government with a bunch of partisan hacks. Also, this story is from 1800. So here's the deal. John Adams is a Federalist, is in an election in 1800 against fellow founding father Thomas Jefferson as a Democratic Republican. And they run a real fierce, mean old election, and it ends up that Thomas Jefferson wins. So, at the time, the Federalists controlled all the branches of power, and they get swept out in this election of 1800, and they all of a sudden go like, well, shit, what can we do? So they pass what's called the Judiciary Act of 1801. And so what that did was it added 3... Uh-oh. Twitch don't hear me no more? Twitch, you hear me now? That's fine. They should hear me. Okay. Sorry, enough of Twitch. Here's the thing. Love you, Twitch. They added 3 circuit courts. They added 10 district courts because they said, oh, the Supreme Court's been traveling around hearing cases. That's too much work. We got you guys. Instead, we'll just make a bunch of circuit courts that can hear cases on circuit, as they used to call it, but they'll just stay put. Don't worry about it. We'll fill them up for you. They get that. And they also say, meanwhile, to add one thing on, we're actually taking away a Supreme Court justice now. So once one of y'all die, you only have 5. Boom. That's the Judiciary Act of 1801. That act passes 13 days in a lame duck session, 13 days before John Adams is set to leave. And so John Adams goes, oh shit, it passed? All right, great. He has 2 weeks to put 60 judges into a bunch of seats. So he does. It's just like bam, 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 bam. He takes a bunch of Federalist homies. He nominates them all. He sends all the documents to the Senate. The Senate just stamps them all, sends them back. Boom, bam, boom. Then Thomas Jefferson's inaugurated. One of those appointments belonged to a man named William Marbury. You probably heard his name. We'll talk about that in a second. Thomas Jefferson gets in, sworn in with a new Congress. He walks into the presidential palace. True story, that's the name for the White House back then. Walks into the presidential palace. He, first thing he does is he sees all these things, sees all these appointments, a few of them still sitting on his desk, right? Because each appointment had to be hand-delivered at the time. And he just goes like, new president, who this? He pushes them all into the trash can. Or rather, he has his Secretary of State, James Madison, push them all into the trash can for him because he's president. Boom. So, Marbury's not happy about this, right? So he says, he goes straight to the Supreme Court. He says, who am I going to talk to? Probably the biggest court in the land. Guys, this ain't fair. I was supposed to have a job, and I don't. And basically, Madison said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, I absolutely have an appointment on that desk. Put me in, coach. Supreme Court goes, sure, we're just not meeting in 1802 because what had happened was the Democratic Republicans passed a bill where they said the Supreme Court's not meeting for all of 1802 because there's too many Federalists in there, which, of course, you could do back then because basically anybody was doing anything. So instead, the Supreme Court meets in 1803, year late. And they hear the case Marbury versus Madison. Maybe you've heard of that back in your old textbooks. I'm going to go straight to the decision because I find it really fascinating. I'm sorry if you went to law school because you've heard this a million times, or if you don't give a shit about the law, also sorry about that. Here's the tea. The Supreme Court, blah, 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 argument, rules in favor of Marbury. Supreme Court says, hey man, this is fucked. You absolutely have a job. They need to put you in now. The Supreme Court also rules they can essentially act on what's called a writ of mandamus, which basically says, I tell you to do something, in this case, James Madison, and you have to do it. You have to install him. So basically, they're reading this decision. Marbury's like, great, I got a job. This is dope. And then the court also says, the Judiciary Act of 1789, passed by Congress, states that the court has the power to issue these writs in cases where they have original jurisdiction. Boom. Case over, right? You read all these things, you're like, bam, Marbury just won this thing. However, this big one, John Marshall, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who's written this decision, he says, here's the problem. If you look at Article 3 of the Constitution, it says the Supreme Court only has original jurisdiction over cases involving ambassadors, other magistrates, blah, 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 and cases where a state is a defendant. So, v. California, v. Illinois, any of those. Otherwise, the Supreme Court does not have original jurisdiction. Thus, Congress passed a law expanding that jurisdiction, this act in 1789. However, that law does not count. It is not in agreement with the Constitution. Boom. So, essentially, what happened was they said, oh, look, I got all this new authority, but we don't want it because it's not in agreement with the Constitution. But by doing that, the court then took on a new power, being able to say things are unconstitutional. John Marshall invented this power in 1800, when really the Supreme Court had been around for like a year. He invents this power, or 1803, I'm sorry, 4 years into it. That power is pretty much the only thing the Supreme Court does to this day. They sit around ruling if things are constitutional or unconstitutional. All of these things, literally the next 200 some odd years of the Supreme Court, they all do this. Here's the question. What is the name for that legal act that the Supreme Court has been doing when they rule something is constitutional or unconstitutional? It is called blank. 45 seconds going now. It's a social studies question, guys. I'm so sorry. It was in your social studies textbooks. I know it was. It's one of those things. If you went to law school, you got it. Reason I told this story, Marshall was Ruth Bader Ginsburg's favorite Supreme Court justice of all time. John Marshall. Fun fact.
What are you asking again?
I'm asking for the name, the legal name for, what am I asking for? The legal name for this principle, this legal principle of calling something constitutional or unconstitutional. It's called something the court does. You'll know it. You'll know it when you hear it. I know. It's fine. Show them, everybody. Let's see if somebody got it. I believe in us. Yep. Dartsall got it. Yep. Jose got it. It is not that. Pud got it. It is called judicial review. Judicial review is what the Supreme Court invented for itself. Boom! That's the day, guys. Let me see them final scores. Pud got it. Darth Saul, you got it. I'm using your proper name. What's our final numbers? Pudman, 30. Oof. The Pud's back. 21, boom.
21.
Pudman. Pudman for the win, everybody. There he is. Oh, 31? Oh, shit. Darth Saul, Cyrus. Cyrus with 31. I misread it. Cyrus with the big win. Is that 2 in a row? You won Saturday, right? Or Friday? Cyrus, 2 out of 3 this week, man. Boom. Well, everybody, from all of us here at Trivia Ronin, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. I am your host again, Matt McNelly. I'm saying don't be a jerk. Be nice to everybody. And vote in November. I think we should probably say that.